They keep chanting Free Palestine. Not sure who she is, but I'm hoping they'll let her go soon. Hi, Stephen. Here in front of the detention facility in Collin County, and it's pretty rowdy, as you can see.
What's that? There's kids here and you're smoking. What are you doing?
Pardon me?
There's kids here and you're smoking.
I didn't see a no smoking sign.
There's a silver lining here, and I remember, I mean, Gerald, we were there when the Black Lives Matter protests first started. I mean, even before Barack Obama.
Yeah.
They started during Barack Obama's presidency. I'm trying to remember the very first one with Trayvon. Trayvon was kind of the start of that. I don't know if they called it Black Lives Matter. Then there was Mike Brown, hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah.
His hands weren't up. He was beating a cop in the head and reaching for his gun. So all of this was based on a lie. And here's what happens. It takes a while for people to figure out the lie. And once they figure out the lie, they become angry. You saw that with COVID. It took a little while for some people to come along. When they figure out the lie, they reject it. Some people go too far and then say, I don't trust anything anymore, you know, like the moon landing or the Earth.
Just the Earth.
Right, in general. It's not a thing. But now you have students, they're calling for, you know, divestment is what they've said, which means any companies, any entities that may have anything to do with Jews when you actually look into it, and a ceasefire. Right? And what this really means is they want to turn universities into Marxist crap holes. And the ceasefire means that they want to leave Hamas in power so they can destroy all the Jews. If you actually listen to what it is that they are saying, and we have had boots on the ground, we have been listening to what they are saying. This is not about just a peaceful solution and a ceasefire, giving the hostages back, and let's say ousting Hamas so there can be a newly elected government to represent the Palestinian people. No, this is about doing away with Israel completely, and a ceasefire conceding everything to Hamas. There can be no ceasefire with Hamas still in power. So here you go, as a recap. Across the country, protesters calling for ceasefire.
We call for immediate and permanent ceasefire.
We call for immediate and permanent ceasefire.
We condemn Greg Abbott.
We condemn Greg Abbott.
Oh, yeah, it's in his hands.
Yeah.
No one will remember us 30 years from now.
True.
But you guys will go down in history.
You're right.
Our biggest thing is also calling for a ceasefire and raising awareness on campus.
The university needs to call for a permanent ceasefire, an end to the occupation, and an end to the genocide.
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
Gosh! What?
I'm taking a howitzer to that protest. I'm sorry. At this point, I'm a murderous person. I'm kidding. Of course, I wouldn't do that. But listen, give peace a chance. Isn't that the chant that they were kind of co-opting a little bit or something like that? It's like, ceasefire now. What, are you going to drink Kool-Aid next and meet the spaceship, you zombies?
Well, come on. Well, you don't know what they meant. So let's go through some of the claims that they're making to justify this.
They have to be 40 someday.
I know.
And look back on this, you know?
Well, the problem is then they have to look back and either continue with the lie or accept. All right, this was. You'll see that sort of like with angry, single, older, bitter feminists, right? They go, yeah, I was right about everything, and it's the rest of the world that was wrong. And then you see some people who go, you know what? Maybe we did some good, but we also did some bad, and I found out that family was more important, that career isn't the end-all, be-all. Or you see people who say, you know what? Yeah, we were wrong about, for example, some of the reasons justifying Vietnam, but probably shouldn't have spit on troops, and it wasn't their fault. They were drafted. Or you see people who say, no, man, we were actually getting things done. So that is actually kind of a good point. We'll see what 40-year-olds they end up being. And I have to tell you, it's going to be rougher for the women. At 40. It really is. It's going to be rougher for the women because they are sacrificing a period of time right now. There is a clock that women have that men don't. And if you are 22, 23, 24, and you've been an entitled brat your whole life, it's tougher for you than it is for a man who tends to sort of mature a little bit later. And that's how feminism harmed an entire generation of women. Not all women accepted it, but they actively harmed a generation of women. It really stemmed from campus and the media. So let's go through some of their claims to see if they hold water. A claim that they are making right now for their justifications, and you've heard this quite a bit, is that Netanyahu is the one who rejected the ceasefire, right? He is the boogeyman of the day, and far from perfect, just to be clear. But the truth is that the demands from Hamas, right, there was a talk of a ceasefire, okay. Then they started adding everything else to the list. So they want Israel to basically let everybody, out, return home. Okay. They want to withdraw all of the IDF troops. Israel to just withdraw completely any and all troops and completely end the war, meaning leaving Hamas in power.
Yeah, exactly.
In the same places from which they fired rockets before there was ever actually a need for a ceasefire. That's basically. Let me just summarize this for you. Israel leaves, Hamas stays in power, nothing changes, and I don't know, give it a few months, maybe a couple of years, more rockets will come in and more tunnels will be dug.
Yeah, and this isn't one of those like stalemate ceasefires where it's like, all right, let's stop shooting because nobody's making any progress. It's like you're losing badly,
right?
And you want us to stop winning? If you want us to stop winning, then lose.
Right.
Just completely lose. We're done. No more bullets have to be fired. You guys are completely out of power and justice will be served. People can go back to their homes. Vote for not terrorists to be in charge next time and maybe this won't happen again.
Right.
There's no ceasefire in the world like this in my mind where one side is dominating the other side and they say, stop shooting us, but give us everything we want.
Right.
What?
Right.
That's not how it works.
Right.
You capitulate. Done. It's
Right.
over.
And this is the thing. It also just draws attention to the fact that these protesters here in the United States, they're not talking about a two-state solution and getting rid of Hamas. I haven't seen, if they exist, I haven't seen enough impassioned speeches of, hey, let's free the Palestinian people from the oppressive rule of Hamas. I've heard them talk about the oppressive rule of patriarchy, apparently, on campus that allows them to disrupt everyone's classes and graduation ceremonies to have to be canceled. I haven't heard them discuss freeing the Palestinian people from Hamas.
Hamas big fans of patriarchy, by the way.
Yes, huge fans
really
of
Big
patriarchy.
fans.
As a matter of fact,
really rely on it.
they almost go too far. But sometimes they have a point. So this makes sense when you understand, okay, they are Hamas supporters, these protesters. Full stop. When you watch this clip from MIT. Sacrifice blood and souls for Palestine.
Culture built off being a victim.
From water to water, death to Zionists.
Whew. Yeah, and here's the thing, though. I do appreciate, they're willing to spill their blood and their soul for Palestine and Hamas, they say, which kind of surprised me considering the kind of mental breakdowns you've seen over, for example, only not spilling your blood, but not being able to graduate.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed. I'm being restricted from a lot of things right now that I didn't expect to be for standing up for something that I believe in.
Accountability.
You mean like restricting kids from their classes?
I have family coming in who I have to let them know to not come to my graduation ceremonies.
Can I ask you a question? What do you think standing up for something you believe in means? Like, is this generation, are you aware that standing up for something you believe in means a cost?
Yeah.
When has anyone stood up for something they believed in and not had to pay a price? Stood up for freedom, right? So you fought off the world's largest superpower one century, the British Empire, to become the world's greatest superpower the next century. Stood up for something you believed in. I don't know, for example, Tiananmen Square, where you saw people run over 10,000 people and students killed by the communist Chinese government, run over with tanks. Stand up for something you believe in. Staring down Hitler and Japanese imperialists. Standing up for even, hey, you know what? Standing up for something you believe in, being a whistleblower and having to flee the country. Standing up for something you believe in means inherently, it means taking a risk. Otherwise, you're not standing up for anything. This is the problem that people have, I think, if you have to put a finer point on it, is, wait, hold on a second. You're standing up. First off, you're disrupting the lives of innocent bystanders, of innocent students on campus, right? They've done nothing wrong, and now they don't get to go to graduation, or they don't get to attend the classes.
Which they paid for.
Or their parents, or we'll get to it, Joe Biden will absolve them of their student debt. Mm-hmm. And you didn't expect any consequences? Do you think that standing up for what you believe in means everyone else has to fund it? That's the difference. That's why these protests, that's why these charades are completely meaningless. You can see it doesn't even occur to them. When they're saying we will spill our blood for Palestine. All right, you're just not going to be able to graduate. What? But I was standing up for something.
I thought I was supposed to do this. The problem they have is that they don't understand the difference between protesting and breaking the law. They have the right to protest. But if they start breaking the law, and here's what happens, the students get a warning.
Right.
Where else in the middle of an armed robbery? Hey, that's armed robbery. Make sure you don't do that. You have 5 minutes to leave. Nobody does that. You're just arrested. In this case, they're like, hey, you're breaking the law. You guys have to disperse. If you don't disperse, you'll be arrested. And guess what?
Sure.
That has consequences to it. She could have stood up for what she believed in and done it in a legal way and then gone about her merry life and not be facing these consequences. It is when she chose to break the law. You don't get to just break the law because you believe in something.
Right, but also I would even argue further. You're not really standing up for anything if you're simply protesting on campus and there are no consequences. Yeah,
I get it, but she could have gone out there and chanted a few times, and when the cops showed up and said, "You guys have to get out of here," she could have left, gone on, checked the virtue signal box, and moved on with her life.
Standing up for something you believe in is going to Gaza right now and fighting with Hamas.
Exactly. And the problem is, she's not upset for standing up for what she believes in. She's upset because she doesn't even believe in this, and now she's losing her graduation.
Right.
If she truly believed in it, and she really was a martyr for the cause, she would be happy to be kicked out. That's what martyrs are. They're happy victims.
I don't particularly like what Muhammad Ali did in his younger life, right? Cassius Clay turned into Muhammad Ali. A lot of you don't know. We did a whole segment on that. Became a conservative later on, actually campaigned for Orrin Hatch. But very young, right? Refused not only to serve, go to Vietnam, but if you look at a lot of his politics and you look at what he did with Farrakhan, Malcolm X, you look at some of the Islamic extremism, his racist views in interracial couples. But he did stand up for something. He wasn't able to box. I believe he lost his boxing license for 3 years in the prime of his life. That is a risk. That's standing up for something you believe in at that point. And by the way, he wasn't negatively affecting other people around him. You could argue if everyone followed suit, we wouldn't have had troops for a war. I don't necessarily think that Vietnam was the kind of war that was entirely justified looking back anyway. But the point remains, he decided to take a risk, endangering and harming no one around himself but himself. No one else.
Yeah.
And he lost his earning ability during the prime of his years for 3 years. I will say I do respect taking that risk. That is standing up for yourself. Mm-hmm. Doing something expecting no consequences is not standing up for anything, to be clear. And this is what these people want on this campus. This is why you're seeing the backlash. They basically want a caliphate. They want their own communist utopia. We showed you this last week, right, at George Washington University. And I believe I misspoke because we had clips from Georgetown and George Washington University. This is George Washington University, where we showed you this is actually about, when you look at their leaders, flat out promoting Marxism.
So basically saying that, like, we are all fighting the same battle, whatever it may look like, wherever we might come from, we're all fighting the same battle, and it's important to understand where our fellow comrades are coming from. Just like they try
to say that cops
are members of the
You're not. Class. You have transgender individuals wanting to take a dump in the girls' bathroom. You're not all together with Hamas.
The American imperialist system, and it is a tool of the capitalists. Just like the cops are the tools of the capitalists, the state of Israel is a tool of the capitalists.
Yeah. If Hamas saw that, to be like, why are you letting the women talk? What is happening?
Yes, exactly.
They don't know their audience at all.
So you saw that, but I don't know if you've seen this now. You've seen this at George Washington University. Now, these students have actually been holding communist-style trials, calling for, and you'd think there may be some consequences, actual executions, death for members of the administration.
The people find you guilty. Guillotine.
Is there another guillotine?
Guillotine. Gracie, we see you.
So they're role playing?
Do they mean assault students by allowing Israel to exist?
I love their live view counter at 36.
Watch this.
A vested interest in the genocide of Palestinian people as they profit off of Zionist weapons and purchases that refuse to divest from apartheid as they line their pockets. The people find you guilty. To the guillotine.
Oh, they'd have to find a guillotine for you that could make it through the neck fat.
Sharpen the blades.
Look at this.
Dull them, dude.
These are the people who talk about the oppression of patriarchy in the Westerns and travesties of justice.
Yeah.
But if they had their way, it would be, hey, a bunch of gender studies majors have said that you're guilty, therefore we kill you. Where have we seen this kind of justice before?
Now, choice is yours. Exile or death.
Exile.
Sold. The man in the cold sweat.
It's basically the same thing, in case you guys don't know.
Similar.
How do you
That's what they
know
want.
that? You're right. They're actually calling for the death, and everybody around just. I don't know what kind of groupthink mentality you have to be in to go,
retarded.
Yeah, that's wrong. You should divest. What's the punishment? Oh, guillotine.
Yes.
Wow.
I was thinking like a fine.
I mean, like, I don't know, like a public shaming. Can we throw fruit?
Maybe like a
that's rotted
penalty
or something?
I mean, you don't get the guillotine for tax evasion even.
I didn't know we had those around as well. It's not practical.
I didn't know that buying from a Jewish bakery warranted decapitation.
They have no muscle to enforce any of it.
None of it.
So it's just like a bunch of nerds.
That's why they rely on the muscle of information, of big tech and of media and of these giant nonprofits and these giant foreign entities donating to colleges. And all this is something else too. You think of strange bedfellows. This is where I've said progress for progress's sake. It can't work, right? It has to collapse under its own genderqueer / pro-terrorist weight, because LGBTQ, AIP, Western feminists, Islam, kind of strange bedfellows, but you're still seeing these people, for whatever reason, at least performatively flocking to Islam now.
I really recommend it. There are a lot of people who are converting. There's a lot of people who are reading it. I'm not saying I'm going to convert. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. And I don't know. I know that this is exactly what I need right now. I just wanted to say thank you and just point out how excited I am.
One, the easiest one may be chop their head off.
If you're praying, go up there, but if you're not, the rest does it feel like my home? No, I'm talking to somebody else. We're trying not to.
Present butts.
What happened to cultural appropriation? We're just showing up. It's like, yeah, what are we doing? Yeah, I mean, I'll face Mecca. I'll do it with you. I mean, I still blow guys, but is it okay?
Not you. You're somebody else at this point.
Yeah, of course. So you just rewind 30 seconds or fast forward for context. Like, all the gay stuff, and I was just hitting poppers in the bathroom. But I'll pray to Allah. I'll pray to Allah with you guys. You're mad about Taco Tuesday?
Yeah. I don't think this counts as jihad either. Like, if you show up to Allah and he's like, "Oh, what did you do?" "Well, I protested." "And did they burn you for this?"
Yeah.
"No. Yes. I couldn't graduate.
I faced Mecca with a killer hangover."
I was on the struggle bus.
I went through an Islam phase when I was like 20.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's like torn Levi's or law school for you.
Yeah.
I think I still remember the prayer. Allahu.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. What? No, that's not it.
Thank you for suicide bombs. So sweet. Thank you for the halal food we eat. Thank you for the rockets that sting.
I don't know.
Thank you, Allah, for something killing things. I don't know. Amen. Allah Akbar.
By the way, that there was the clip that we showed of the imam. It was talking about how to deal with gay people. I think we have a longer.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, Islam doesn't limit the killing of the gays to just beheadings. They get very creative.
If there's homosexual men, the punishment is one of 5 things.
Oh. Okay. There we go.
The easiest one may be
talking it out.
Chop their head off.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
That's the easiest.
Maybe there are other options.
Easiest is very
Let's
easy.
hear them out.
Second, burn them to death.
Okay, well,
it's almost worse.
Third, throw them off a cliff.
This just seems like a pattern.
Hard to find a cliff.
Fourth, tear down a wall on them so they die on
I'm noticing a pattern here.
It's destructive.
Maybe 5 is good.
Fifth,
let's wait.
A combination of the above.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
what?
Set him on fire, chop up his head, throw down a wall, and then what's the other one? Throw him
a combination.
E is all of the above? What is this, a multiple choice test?
Throw him off a wall, throw him off of a cliff, have the wall fall onto him, and then it lights
Light him
ablaze.
on fire and beheads him.
Yeah.
I've seen Humpty Dumpty before. I get it.
I mean,
They watch too much Coyote and Roadrunner.
Yes, exactly.
I really did think
They just paint a tunnel on the wall, but with dicks in it. Look!
If you are attracted to that.
He was saying it with a smile, too. He
I know.
was really happy about it. It brought him a lot of joy.
And now your father being disappointed in you doesn't seem so bad.
At least she ain't over there.
Yeah. Hit the like button if you want to just book these protesters a one-way flight to Gaza. At least a couple of them.
We should go down with the sign-up sheet.
We'll pay for it. I will pay.
You want to spill your blood? Fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Go over there.
Your terms are acceptable, is what they'll say, not us.
Ooh, is this ticket to the West Bank? Because that would be better.
Yes. By the way, you probably shouldn't include your demands on paper regarding hot lunches and vegan-free food and zip ties and lotion for when you get ashy. I don't think that Hamas is going to be ultra-responsive. Here's the silver lining. Other students, commonly referred to as normal people,
right?
They got fed up and they started finally pushing back, responding to the pro-terrorists.
Get him, he said.
It's like a slow march in.
Hold the umbrella line!
There's the Navy SEALs there for some reason.
They're the penguin.
There's pepper spray.
And they're always so surprised when they shove an officer and they get pepper sprayed. Like, what?
Hamas has 0 national championships.
Don't bring that to an SEC school. Keep your protests to liberal colleges, guys.
Flipping him off for saying USA.
Look, this is anecdotal, but we've been showing you a lot of videos of the protests and the people therein. Was it as shocking to you the normalcy that you saw in those ones? Like, the people looked normal. Like, they didn't look like they live in a sewer.
Also, no masks.
Yeah.
Which, that's fantastic.
They look kind of how we used to imagine college students looking.
Yes.
Remember, it used to be like, you might get some frat, but it's kind of fratty, people would say. If you go there at the wrong time, it's kind of fratty. Or if you were like in your late teens or early 20s, like, a lot of good-looking college girls down there. Now it's often just awful at the protests.
That's never been said of Notre Dame, though.
That's the one area where, they look normal.
Yeah, they do.
They look happy. Do you see, anecdotal, do you see the difference? And by the way, to cover more of these, we sent our own on-the-ground correspondent, Finnegan.
Oh, Lord.
Unfortunately, the campus protests here, because they had committed so many crimes, I believe, had already moved to somewhere outside of the courthouse or the jail. So we had to send Thomas Finnegan there to get the scoop.
They keep chanting Free Palestine. Not sure who she is, but I'm hoping they'll let her go soon. Hi, Stephen. Here in front of the detention facility in Collin County, and it's pretty rowdy, as you can see. I don't think I should be here. Who's down there?
Let's go all the way down there. We'll interview with you.
Over there? You want to go now?
Not me.
No? Who am I interviewing over there? You can see to my right that there's generators, so that my left? What? I know left from right. As you can see over here, they have some generators, so they're getting ready for I assume, the dead of night. So this will go on for hours and hours. They're chanting Free Palestine, and they've also got the free snacks. So it seems to be a theme. It's pretty loud here.
What's that? There's kids here and you're smoking. What are you doing?
Pardon me?
There's kids here and you're smoking.
I didn't see a no smoking sign. Would you like to do an interview? No? Okay.
The man with the scarf was in almost all of our shots. I think he was really proud of it.
There. No? What kind of fabric is that? Looks nice and airy. It's good for the summer. There's somebody behind me. Oh, he's trying to stand up about tobacco. There you have it. They don't want to talk. They're just drawing on the walls. It's going to rain tomorrow. That'll be gone. And I think it's time for another smoke.
That was good. He found the right place this time. Well, no, I mean, I'm trying to say that he's never been to the right place yet.
Yeah.
That ended up being the right place, so let's baby step.
You know, you're in charge of the purse strings. You're in charge of the purse strings. That cost us a pretty penny.
I've tried to fire him several times.
I know, I can't.
Have you ever tried to sit down with Finnegan
he's
and
the
fire him?
only employee we've ever had here who's in the union.
I talked to him about it, by the way, he seemed pretty adamant that he's never getting fired.
That's my point.
He's very confident.
Pretty confident, and we were supposed to be at the university. We showed up there.
Right.
We didn't even know that we had to go there.
Was that they moved to the jailhouse? Is that what that was?
Yes. Yeah.
Because a bunch of their
He must have
friends
just
got
known.
arrested?
He's a smart guy. That was a fun day. I was there. You might have seen me a couple times. I did some dancing and some chanting. I don't know.
Did you?
Yeah. I said, free Firestein. Yeah. They had no idea. They had no clue. They thought I was part of them. No, they definitely knew.
They did. And they probably heard Firestein and were like,
yeah.
Jew.
Yeah. Well, they wish.
Jew.
It's
They have like a Judar.
Yeah, I was just telling everybody I was there to see my uncle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had done something weird.
Yeah.
But they totally believed it. But yeah, there's a couple of things that didn't come out, which like that guy, the guy kept saying, you can't, you're smoking, there's kids around.
Yeah.
That guy was funny. He said it like 6-7 times. You can't, and I looked at him, I go, I don't think that's a thing. And he's like, what? I go, I don't think that's a thing. And then Finnegan goes, yeah, I didn't see a sign.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no smoking, there's kids. I'm like, oh, you guys really care about the rules.
Yeah, I'm sure Hamas takes that to heart.
Why are you here at the jail, by the way? You care about the rules?
Yeah.
Your friends are, and they obeyed the rules, I'm sure.
What about calling for the deaths of everyone from the river to the sea? I think that would include children.
Yes, but that would not be through the cruelty of secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke kills more people than actual smoke. There's no science to back it. It was a big scare, but we still we play by those rules.
And you know what, Gerald? You guys talking all this smack about Finnegan, but he was out there, dude. He was risking it all, man. He picked up a piece of chalk and wrote "Mug Club" on the police property, the wall, right? The wall they're all drawing on the walls.
Yeah.
Free Mug
piece of
Club.
chalk on the floor, picked it up, wrote "Mug Club." I was like, that's pretty cool. Then a couple minutes later, as we're leaving, a lady went and grabbed an officer from inside, and the officer came over. We have footage. We didn't put it in there, but we have footage of the officer coming over. Yeah, he was like, "Hey, you took the kid's chalk."
We didn't take the.
And then we're like, no, we found it on the ground. He's like, you can't take the kid's chalk. And the lady's like, yeah, you stole my kid's chalk. And like, she picked up her kid while wearing her fucking
Rule of law.
scarf or whatever.
What happened to the collectivism? By the way, you're not even stealing it. It's on the ground. That
Also, you're defacing public property. And the cop, what? Like, I can't do it also?
They tried to say that you took a child's
Yeah,
chalk?
yeah. The Finnegan took it. Yeah, but-
Finnegan took the child's chalk.
And then there was we wrote Mug Club on one of the walls. And this
So they
lady-
went and got an officer?
Yes.
The protesters?
From inside, yes.
The defund, the no police.
And the officer came out and was like on their side. I'm like, what is this?
These
dude?
people want you to believe that they will police their own community as it relates to rape, as it relates to domestic battery, shootings, but not the unforgivable crime of using chalk that you found on the ground.
They're protesting the police, but couldn't have the ability to just let a piece of chalk go.
Hilarious.
Or just tell you, like, hey, man, that's my chalk. I don't want you using it.
Yeah.
That still would have been more adult than going and getting the police over ground chalk. It's ground chalk, by the way. Ground chalk, it's not a finders keepers thing. It has its own clause. Ground chalk is community chalk.
It is.
They make it
Finders
clear.
users.
They're anti-police until they can use them for their advantage.
That's hilarious.
They're clear about it. And so we wrote the Mug Club on there, and this lady comes over. This guy was like, he was trying to like intimidate us by standing near us and stuff. We're like, okay, whatever. And then he's just standing there not doing anything, just kind of hanging out. And this lady came over, poured water on the Mug Club to drown it out. And as soon as she did that, he came over and was like, yeah, I'm going to help out.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he waited for the woman to take charge.
Let
and
it
then
not
he
be
came
the
over.
chivalry's dead.
Real tough guy.
I love beta males. They're fantastic.
Well, I don't even know if they qualify. That would be an insult to beta males.
Zeta?
These are people who went and got police officers over ground chalk.
Yeah.
And they
That was the funniest part. It was like, this isn't community chalk?
It really comes down to at what point, and we've done this for a long time, going completely independent. Of course, none of this happens without you. You can go to louderwithcrowder.com/mug club. Right, you use the promo code military, $10 off, 10% of proceeds go to military.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.